It is just such a privilege to be able to honor you, and especially somebody who has played a role in my life, has played a role in so many lives of people who I know, people around me. My neighbor at Imagination Stage, just walking distance down the street, where I've been able to enjoy so many activities and shows and see the local talent, go with my nieces and nephews to appreciate it. 40 years of service to our young people, inspiring them with creativity, with opportunities, and making sure that children achieve what we teach them to believe, and you've taught them to believe so much. And it is just such an inspiration to so many. And we know that although you may be stepping down from this particular position at Imagination Stage, that you will be an integral part of the Montgomery County Arts Foundation here, as you have been for so many years, and you'll continue to be a prominent voice, not just for Imagination Stage, but for arts education and for arts opportunities in the region, in the county, and beyond. And it's just amazing to see what started as a dream for more arts education from a PTA project has now become a globally recognized arts platform that has and continues to change the lives of generations in our community. There are so many people who have been through your program, who have been to your shows, who have been to the various educational opportunities that you've been to, from education workshops, classes, camps, all of which bridge the cultural division and bring a voice to so many who are often left behind and forgotten. And by providing that safe and inclusive environment, young people are empowered to discover their voice and identity through performing arts and education, and to be able to experience professional theater, which is a huge opportunity for so many. So thank you for your dedication, your passion, your talent, and your friendship. It has been a true inspiration to me personally, and has been an amazing motivator for so many in the Montgomery County and regional arts community. So thank you so much. I'd like to turn to my colleague now.
Well, thank you very much, Councilmember Friedson. And you're so right. We often get caught up in the acronyms. And so for those who don't know, Bethesda Academy of Performing Arts is what BAPA is. And it was designed around the youth in our community. And so as chair of the Education and Culture Committee, Bonnie, before we were doing it, you were doing it. Understanding that education and culture go hand in hand, understanding the need for us to make sure that we provide opportunities for our children to get involved in the arts, and the great value that it has in creating well-rounded community members here, growing in appreciation and an understanding that integrating people with some of our invisible disabilities, whether it's dyslexia or hearing impairments, sensory integration disorders, all those kinds of things were things that you were passionate about in terms of inclusion and making sure that our children would play a role in being an integral part of Imagination Stage. And then, look, exposure to the arts, we know, can help our youth develop more positive skills and capacities, their persistence, their drive, their collaboration, creative thinking, problem solving, confidence, all of those things. I speak from experience, being the father of two young performers who have both participated in the arts since being very little. When they first wanted to sing The Little Mermaid and forced me to put it on YouTube. So it's clear in terms of how that translates in truly helping our children. And also when it comes to civic engagement. It's just really, there are no bounds when it comes to arts and its partnership with education and the things that we can do. The great thing about it is that, Bonnie, you not only grew in organization, Imagination Stage, but you also grew a culture. One that meant bringing arts to our kids is just incredibly important. And so we thank you for that. Albert Einstein said something, and it plays on Imagination Stage. Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination encircles the entire world. And there it is. You've encircled the entire world with everything that you've done, with your creativity, with your passion, with your drive to make Montgomery County and this world a better place. And we thank you for that.
So that was beautifully said by both of my colleagues. 6 years ago, when news began to spread that hundreds of thousands of families were sending their children across the border, escaping extreme violence, ramifications of climate change, and extreme poverty, to come to the United States, kids that were experiencing trauma in their home countries, on their travels here, and trauma with the complicated reunifications of their families. Bonnie reached out to a number of folks in the community and said, I want to help, I want to do something, and came up with the concept of a beautiful performance called Óyeme. She put together an impressive steering committee that included Armando Truel, Antonio Tijerino from the Hispanic Heritage Foundation, Councilmember Navarro, myself, Luis Cardona, Diego Uriburu, and many others, and not only commissioned this remarkable piece that helped provide context and describe the plight of these children, but also created a workshop that Luis Cardona and the Street Outreach Network utilized to connect with youth who had experienced that trauma. It was classic Bonnie. She saw a problem, she saw a gap, and rather than just sit around, she did something about it. And she's been doing that for over 40 years. How amazing is it that somebody sees the plans for a parking lot in downtown Silver Spring and thinks to herself, you know, that'd be a great place for a world-class theater, and actually raise the funds and make it happen. I've known Bonnie since I was 11 years old. Her son, David, and I are very close friends to this day. We went to middle and high school together. We played soccer together. And so I can speak in the first person, not just of the incredible visionary leader she is that we've all grown to welcome and respect, but what a wonderful mom and what a wonderful grandmother she is. You have inspired generations of people, Bonnie, not just to imagine, but to act. Not just to act, but to do. And I am proud to say I am one of those people. There are many of us that over the course of our day and weeks and months and years have what would Bonnie do moments, because you have been such an inspiration. And so it's an honor and privilege to have the opportunity to give this proclamation to you today. I wish it could be in person. And in true Bonnie fashion, when we reached out to her to let her know that she was going to be receiving this proclamation, she said, I'll accept it, but only on behalf of my staff and the volunteers and the kids we've served for so many years. And also in true Bonnie fashion, she said, Gabe, does that come with a grant or any support for Imagination Stage? She's a rock star on every level. We love you, Bonnie. I love you, Bonnie. And so we'd love for you to say a few words, and we will then read the proclamation.
Gosh, thank you so very much. I hope I can quote you. I think that comes with the territory of being words spoken in the public. I'm certainly going to make sure my children hear it, because they don't have any sense of my value. And maybe we can even use it for my funeral, which may not be so far off, right, at this point. Thank you. These words were extraordinary. I can't thank you enough. You know, I've enjoyed a supportive relationship with the county council for 40 years. And I have a photo in my office where I was receiving a recognition in person with Howie Dennis and Steve Silverman. I mean, that's got to be 20 years ago, but it has a privileged place. And the reason is because I consider our relationship with the council to be that, and extraordinarily important always through our lifetime has been our relationships with the county council. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just a few words about the importance of the arts, although nobody could have said it better than you have said it, and Chairman Katz, thank you. You know, I'm an immigrant, and I've always acknowledged that it was extraordinarily good fortune that brought me to Montgomery County 50 years ago. And I always felt privileged that my children grew up here. That said, there was always one thing that saddened me, And that was the absence of comprehensive arts education in our schools, because the arts were my personal salvation. I moved 9 times before the age of 13, and consequently, I had little to no basic education. And the only way I could level the playing field in yet another school was literally on the playing field. I was a super champion on the hockey field, and by participation in arts activities, where I also ended up being a bit of a star. So for me, and for so many others, the arts were one and are one of few avenues to success, which is why I created the Bethesda Academy of Performing Arts in 1979 for children, for all children, for whom every child needs imagination, creativity, and joy in their lives, but especially for those children who have a more difficult pathway, such as I had. And really now it's been 40 years, and I can't believe it myself, 40 years of bringing these gifts to our children. And yes, Gabe, you're absolutely right. I take very little credit for anything other than facilitating an extraordinary staff of associates. They are the vision and the power. And I recognize the families who valued what we offer, wise and resourceful board members, and the 4th most important leg is the public officials. You have always been the wind beneath our wings. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now more than ever, our children need the resiliency that the arts can foster. I'm stepping back, but I'm doing it knowing that our leadership of accomplished professionals will maintain our current work. Our board will stay strong. Our families will still need us. And I do do it knowing that we can always count on your support. So thank you so very, very much. So appreciate it.
We're going to go ahead and read the proclamation here to offer you the praise that you certainly deserve. Whereas Bonnie Fogel has gifted Montgomery County with over 40 years of dedication to children and the arts as the founder of the Bethesda Academy of Performing Arts in 1979, in response to the urgent need for arts education for young people. And
whereas Bonnie had great foresight to empower our youth through arts education by creating a well-known and cherished regional institution known as Imagination Stage, an organization that highly motivates young people to discover their voice and identity through the performing arts and professional theater. And
whereas Bonnie has guided Imagination Stage from a handful of children in a single classroom to a full spectrum theater arts organization with internationally recognized and awarded theater productions by professional actors and artists. And
whereas Bonnie's lasting impact in our community includes establishing as a founding member the BCC's Cultural Arts Committee and the Committee for Bethesda Cultural District, receiving the prestigious honors of the Washingtonian of the Year, Maryland's Top 100 Women in 2006, and the Gelman, Rosenberg, and Friedman Excel Award for Nonprofit Management in 2015 for her vision and dedication to youth. And
whereas Bonnie's vision to instill hope, courage, and above all, creativity in our youth from all walks of life and abilities, and embrace the complexity and diversity of our world through the arts, will support our next generation of leaders to overcome challenges with confidence and success for generations to come.
Now, therefore, it be resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby honors Bonnie Fogel on her retirement as Executive Director of Imagination Stage. And be it further resolved that the County Council recognizes that Bonnie Fogel's commitment to arts education for more than 40 years has been crucial in making Montgomery County a distinguished arts community as Imagination Stage continues to impact the lives of children and adults all over the world. Presented today on the 17th day of November in the year 2020, signed by my colleagues, Councilmember Andrew Friedson and Council President Katz. Bonnie, congratulations, and thank you again.
Thank you so very much. Wonderful. Thank you.